Okay, let's get into it. While the entire world is kind of mesmerized by AI software, there's a huge crisis brewing in the hardware that actually powers it all. We're talking about a hidden component, something you probably don't think about much, that's about to trigger a massive shock to the tech world. And yeah, you're going to feel it directly in your wallet. So let me just ask you this straight up. Why is your next PC or that gaming console you've been saving up for gonna cost an absolute fortune? I mean, picture it. You walk into a store a year from now, you see the price tag on a new laptop, and you just can't believe your eyes. What on earth happened? Well, the answer lies in one of the most basic parts of all modern tech. Yep. Welcome to what some insiders are already calling the RAM apocalypse. And look, I know it sounds super dramatic, but it's the quiet reality of a global supply chain that is being stretched to its absolute breaking point. And it's all because of the crazy, meteoric rise of artificial intelligence. All right, so first things first, let's break down what this really means for you, the consumer. Because the impact, it's going to be direct, and honestly, it's going to be pretty much unavoidable. Now, for anyone who needs a quick refresher, RAM, random access memory, it's basically your device's short-term working memory. Think of it like the countertop in your kitchen. It's not the pantry where you store everything long-term. It's the high-speed workspace you need to actually do things. And literally, nothing digital, from your phone to your car, works without it. So what does this actually look like out there in the wild? We are not talking about a small price bump here. We're talking about laptops that could cost hundreds of dollars more than they should. We're talking about those long-awaited gaming consoles being delayed, maybe indefinitely, simply because the parts are too expensive. And we're even talking about major phone companies just quietly removing certain models from their lineups because they can't get the memory to build them. So what's causing all this chaos? Well, it really comes down to a single industry with an appetite for memory that is just off the charts. It's completely rewriting the rules of the game for the global supply chain. We are smack in the middle of what everyone is calling the AI gold rush. I mean, trillions of dollars are being poured into building these gigantic AI data centers. But here's the thing about a gold rush. You need shovels. And in this gold rush, the most valuable tool, the shovel that every single player needs to keep digging, is memory. Get this. The big companies building the biggest AI models, they've reportedly already bought and locked up an estimated 40% of the entire world's supply of the most advanced memory out there. That leaves literally everyone else fighting for the scraps. Now, the AI giants aren't just buying any old memory. They're buying a very specific super-powered version called HBM, or high bandwidth memory. It's this incredibly dense, incredibly fast type of RAM that's custom-built for the brutal demands of training AI. But, and this is the most crucial point, it's made of the exact same stuff as the normal RAM that goes in your laptop. So how does this all snowball into a full-blown crisis? Well, it's because this absolutely insane demand is colliding head-on with a supply chain that is, frankly, shockingly fragile. This is the heart of the problem. You have to understand that making memory is a zero-sum game. The fancy HBM for an AI server and the DDR5 RAM for your gaming PC, they start life in the exact same way, as a silicon wafer in a factory. And every single wafer that gets turned into high-profit HBM for an AI company is a wafer that cannot be used for the memory in your next phone or computer. And the entire game is controlled by just 3 players. This chart says it all: Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. Together, they control a staggering 93% of the entire global supply. It's an oligopoly. That means if even one of them decides to shift production towards AI, the entire market feels it. And guess what? That is exactly what's happening. So you might be sitting there thinking, well, why don't they just build more factories? It's a fair question, but it is not that simple. First off, these places are some of the most complex buildings on the planet. Second, even if you had unlimited money, it takes at least 2 years to get a new one up and running. And third, these companies are nervous. They've seen tech bubbles burst before, and they're terrified of investing billions only to have the AI craze fizzle out. So what happens when you have infinite demand, a shared resource, and a supply controlled by just 3 companies? You get absolute chaos. The rest of the tech world, from Apple to Dell to Sony, is now being forced to scrounge for the leftovers. This quote just perfectly captures the desperation. I mean, we are talking about senior executives from the world's biggest, most powerful tech companies, personally flying to South Korea just to plead for their share of the supply. They've literally been nicknamed dram beggars. It's wild. And when they do get an allocation, Oh, they are paying dearly for it. Experts are calling it a parabolic move in prices. Apple is reportedly paying a 230% premium just to secure the RAM it needs for its newest iPhones. And you can bet that cost is going to be passed on to all of us. And for all you PC builders and gamers out there, the warnings are even more stark. There are already reports that the next big-time graphics card, the RTX 5090, could be pushed towards a $5,000 price tag. A huge chunk of that is just the insane cost of the memory it needs. And the fallout is just getting started. Right now, we're already seeing retailers in places like Japan limiting how much memory people can buy, but the projections get a lot worse. By the end of 2026, analysts are warning that some consumer electronics companies could literally face bankruptcy or just be forced to cancel whole product lines because they can't afford the parts anymore. So, this whole mess leads us to a much bigger, more fundamental question about what we as a global society are actually choosing to build right now. Are we witnessing a massive global misallocation of resources? I mean, think about it. Are we starving the entire consumer tech ecosystem, the tools that billions of us use every single day, just to fuel this massive build-out of AI infrastructure? And what makes this question so powerful is that the warning is coming from inside the house. That's a quote from Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. He has publicly admitted that this whole AI frenzy, it might just be a bubble. And if he's right, then the entire global tech supply chain is being twisted out of shape for a gold rush that might not even last. So here's the bottom line. Is this whole shift a necessary sacrifice we have to make for the next great leap in human progress? Or is it a reckless gamble, completely fueled by hype that's going to starve the technology market we all depend on and leave every one of us paying the price for years? That is the multi-trillion-dollar question at the heart of the RAM apocalypse.